There's lots of different techniques for doing things. The goal is to find out what works best for you. In this video, we're going to go through different ways of doing things, some things to make sure you're not doing, some things to make sure you are doing, and some variations of the exercises and techniques to use. I'm going to start off with the first one that you come to in your Hyrox race. You'll do your first run, then you'll get to the ski erg. With the ski erg, don't go flat out straight away. It's going to tire you out for your whole race. When you get to it, the only thing you're going to need to adjust is the damper setting. When you get to it, it will be on level 6 or 7, I set it at. You probably don't want it on number 10. You probably don't want it on number 1. The people to follow for the best advice on the ski erg and the rower is Hall Strength and Erg Army. Follow them on Instagram, loads of tips they put on it. We normally do it on level 7. When we're doing the technique, you're gonna grip the handles, you're gonna drive down, coming up. You don't wanna be kicking your arms right back. You don't wanna be circling around. You wanna find your strongest pull point, which is gonna be there, straight down. And then you're coming up. So we're there. And then you're going to need to pace yourself so you can keep it going for 1,000 meters, or if you're doing mixed doubles, how we split it is 250, 250, 250, 250. If you're doing the mixed doubles and you're doing that, you can go faster and do it more powerful. If you're doing it for the full 1K, you're going to have to slow it up. Find that rhythm where you can breathe, keep it controlled, driving down, coming up. That is the ski erg.
So the next station is the Sled Push. This is my absolute hell of a station. So the only way I've done it is like there, and I push in like that. There's loads of techniques and we're going to show you Steve's, but this is mine. And then I push like that. Slipping about. That's my best way. I've tried all the other ways. I think I used to start off like that, but I find that so much harder. So my favourite way is all the body straight in like that. Steve will show you his technique, and then you've just got to practice what works for you.
So when I've done the sleds, when I first did them, I did them arms straight. Main reason being, I really struggle with that. That feels really tight in and around my chest. So I always did this movement. So I'd be there, and then pushing. Now, the way I do it, and I find this way so much easier, is to grip it with my hands, lean into it so my head's over here. Don't do what I saw one girl do in one of her TikTok reels. She put her head down to this to press it, chipped the bottom of her tooth out. So there, my head's then by the side, and then driving there. Or I have my chin there. Another important this on the sled push is, don't be trying to take massive steps when you're pushing it. It's going to be slow steps, and you want to have your back quite flat, so you're in a good position there to then drive forwards with it.
I always find my hand positions are better when a little bit lower. That's better. And little steps, like Steve said. So the sled pull is number 3, and this is like my hardest, weakest station. But the only way for me, works is probably getting down quite low. So I can't do the hand only technique. I do a bit of pulling back. So I always do this, and then pull, and then step back and up, go forward, pull, step up and back. I'll do one more. Ooh. Some people do it to the side as well. And I just step back a little bit at the side. But I always try and put the rope, either whack it in front a little bit, or I put it through my legs, and you'll make it work.
So my sled pull technique is, I'll squat down a bit, and then small fast steps back. Come back forwards, small fast steps back. Different ways of doing it. You can do it where you're just pulling with your arms. That, if you're strong enough to do it, is probably one of the quickest ways of doing it. It just depends how much that drains you. The way, it's with everything, it's finding what works best for you. I'll see some people who'll squat right down and then pull it from there. That, for me, is probably one of the weakest places to pull it from. You're gonna have to be very strong in that position to then come back and get it moving, compared to a smaller squat and then leaning back and putting your weight backwards to take the momentum with you back.
So station number 4 is very hard because it's a lot of explosive movements, and when we first did the burpee broad jumps, I used to do a lot of jumps, whereas now I step into it. So when I first did it, I'd be jumping. Whereas now I do and just keep swapping legs.
So for me, I find if I do the step version, so I'll be there, I'd jump back and then stepping in and then jump in. I actually find that harder than jumping back and forward. So for me, I'll be there, just to the floor, there, jump, and then already when I'm here, I'm thinking about going back down. I'm not jumping and being upright, so I want to get it so my hands are going to land trainer in front of my foot. There, you can hold your toes, make sure you stay down. Jump. It's about finding what technique works best for you, whether it's the step, so that's jump, step, and then jump, or step, jump, or jump. Burpee broad jumps. The next one is the rower. I think a lot of people see the rower as a bit of a rest. We definitely do, and as a mixed doubles, we actually get a rest. We do it 500 meters, 500 meters. So by the time we get here, we know we're gonna have roughly a 2-minute rest. That way we can push ourselves harder on the burpees and the runs, knowing this rest is coming up. When you get here though, first thing is check the damper setting, it's gonna be the same. We'll keep it on what Hyrox put it on at 7. It's a case of adjusting things and do your training and see what works best for you. What will work best for you is having it on the setting where you can do the time the quickest and getting the least out of breath doing it. So when you come to it, feet straight in, there's different ideas on this. So some people will keep their feet not fully tight, so just tighten it up a little bit. So when you then come to swap over in the doubles, you're straight out and you can move. The only thing you got that when you're doing that, you've got more movement of your feet. So again, this is why you need to try it when you're doing it. You're gonna be in, there, drive with your legs, in towards your stomach. Control back in, drive with your legs. There's a slight lean back, so you're using your back. So you're always gonna think legs, legs, and then putting it together. You don't need to stretch right forwards. You don't need to come right back. You don't need to pull up to your face. You just need to get that power through your legs, then finishing the movement with your arms, and then control it back in. You want to try and not have this. If you're doing it up and down and that's waving about, this wants to be, the chain wants to be smooth. So you're trying to keep that chain as smooth as you can, in and out.
So this is number 6, the farmer's carry, and you're on the home straight now. So when you get to this section, you keep thinking, oh, there's only a few left. But it's the grip that gets me, and we split it 50-50. So I do 100 meters, you do 100 meters, Steve does 100 meters. So I literally go, get it, up, off we go. And I do run like this. also, I hold my stomach in and I do a bit of a lean forward and head down. I keep my head down because I've just got to get it done. So that is the movement for me. And you feel like a bit of an idiot, but it does work because you like got the momentum. So that's my version of farmer's carry.
So lunges, the main thing with this one is, one, you follow the rules. So your knee's gonna have to touch the floor and you're not doing any little steps in between. What I mean by that is it's not gonna be lunge, step, step, and then you're lunging again. You'll get pulled up on that for sure. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna lunge forwards, knee touches the floor. You can come up to balance yourself, and then again, up, and then you wanna get it where it's as quick a changeover on each one. One thing that we see a lot of people doing wrong on these in the gym is, one, they don't have their lace done up properly, is when they're doing it, as they come in, the knee drops in, and then that's just often a weakness either in your glutes or your VMO, so a bit more strength work is going to help with that. But you want to be thinking it's a straight drive to keep your lunges. You want to keep your body strong. You want to be thinking that the bag's equally spread over your shoulders. Some people will do it where they're not holding on. I ain't brave enough for that because I don't want to be dropping the bag. So I'm holding on, but just with my thumb, and then just keeping it there. Fully extend up each time. And then the last one will be your wall balls. So a couple of things on this. You have to make sure you're getting low enough when you're coming down with the ball, and you have to make sure you hit the target, and you have to make sure you hit the right target. If you're doing the women's one and you're at the lower target, if you hit the upper one, that's going to count as a no rep. One thing to do when you start, and this is more for training, so the more you do it in training, you'll get that distance sussed when you come to do the race. If you're too far back and you're throwing it forwards, that's a lot harder. If you're too close and you're there throwing it straight up, that might feel uncomfortable. You want to have it at a distance so the ball is lined up with the target, and then arm's length out. And then from there, squatting down low enough, hit the target, back down. When you catch the ball, you don't want to be catching it too low to then try and then press it from there. You want to be catching it with your hands lower down, so it always stays below where the ball is. If you struggle to get the range, grab a box. Use something where you can come down to a box. For example, if I use this box here, when I squat down, parallel is going to be there. I'm just below parallel there. So that'll work for me as a guide, get the distance. Wall balls.
So this is our video of our techniques, personal to us. We thought we'd share what we're doing, what works for us, and I hope that's helped you guys come up with different ways of doing things. Comment below if anything you think's better, help us out as well. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, the other thing is people are coming up with different techniques. You'll see some people swinging the kettlebells when they're doing it with them. Other variations are coming up. As the sport becomes more and more done, people are coming up with things that are working. So watch out, watch what the top ones do as well. And then the key is test it yourself and see if it works for you.
Thanks for watching.